You're listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. Today, we're talking about dreamers in a way you probably have never heard before. If you've ever been criticized, judged because you struggle to focus, because you were dreaming, you have to listen to the show today. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. Okay, Jason, what is the difference between dreaming while sleeping and just plain old daydreaming?
Well, from our standpoint, there's very little.
Okay.
When you're dreaming
Yes.
or daydreaming,
Yes.
you're kind of going into the non-physical dimension.
Oh, yeah.
And having an experience.
Yes, by all means.
And daydreaming can be a little more intentional.
Sure.
But you can, I know you've talked about this, that you if you want to work out a problem while you're sleeping,
yes,
you set the intention first.
I do. It's one of the things I do. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. It's not that big of a deal, but we'll talk a little bit more about it. Yeah. He does it different, though.
I do it differently. Yeah. Well, I'll obsess about a problem.
Okay.
And then just let it go and say, okay, I'm going to bed.
Right.
And then
and I have to tell you, oftentimes he'll wake up in the morning and he'll have the answer, or at least part of it or most of it worked out. And the most amazing thing of all is oftentimes there's a perspective that I didn't expect, or one that, not that it's surprising, but it's like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? And a lot of what we're talking about has to do with, we both have the intention of taking care of the energy around us, but we also both know that working with energy is one of the most powerful things you can do. And when you use the ecosystem approach, it's an amazing way to get what you want.
So when you go into the non-physical dimension with dreaming, daydreaming, or whatever,
right?
You can do it for play. Mm-hmm. You can do it for restoration. Mm-hmm. You can do it for knowledge.
I love that.
Or renewal.
Yeah.
And here's one of the things that you may know, you may not know, and we've heard this a lot. That we know this to be true because we can see it.
Right.
But that we're energy beings in a physical body. Mm-hmm. Well, we know that that energy part of us, it's very harsh to be in a physical body. It's not something that is easy for energy, mm-hmm. that energy part of us, our essence, to be in this physical body.
Exactly.
So we need a break. Yeah. And we get that break when we go to sleep. That's our restoration.
I love that.
So that's when it's like wearing, it's like wearing your Sunday best.
Yes.
And then as soon as you get home, you take it off your shoes.
Yeah, of course.
Or
those were the rules. Didn't you know? Yes.
Yes. Or you've got, shoes that don't fit well. Or
they
hurt. Well, it's the same thing with your energy part of you. And when you go to sleep, it's like, okay, I can.
There's a freedom here.
There's a freedom.
Yeah.
And whether you're conscious of it or not, it doesn't matter. But a lot of times I have these weird dreams that make no sense. Well, I'm playing. Sometimes, the restoration parts I'm playing, I'm rejuvenating, mm-hmm. Sometimes I get knowledge. Sometimes it's just having fun. Mm-hmm. There's all sorts of things you can do, but the renewal is absolutely necessary.
The renewal, and and the restoration. And the reason that's so important is because when you're a spiritual being living in a physical body, there's a lot of resistance and fighting going on, that your spiritual being is doing while in that body. If you think about it, and I don't remember if this is the right place for this, but I'm jumping in.
Okay.
um we have all kinds of toxins around us. We know this. It's, we hear about them all the time. I'm talking about air pollution, water pollution, even mind pollution. We know about that, especially in the last few years. But the point that I'm getting at is that when we go to sleep or when we daydream, what happens is that we're restoring and we're renewing the who our spiritual being is and how we are in that physical body.
And we didn't talk about this, but I like to use the word energy
Yes.
because spiritually implies that there's some sort of religious
Yes, you're right. You're right.
basis
Well,
for it. And the
we've
truth
seen
is,
that.
this is what we see. This isn't a matter of, this doesn't happen just because you're a Buddhist or a Christian or
exactly.
It happens to everybody. This is the way we're designed.
Right. But we've been trained / programmed to not understand it, to not believe that it has any value.
Yet that this energy part of us is somehow reverent and we shouldn't touch it, and we
Right.
shouldn't go there.
Right. Right.
And the ecosystem approach is all about including that energy part of us as a major part of our ecosystem.
Right. Exactly.
So
Jason, talk about when you were a kid.
Well, I used to play with the matchbook cars.
No, Matchbox.
Matchbox cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Matchbook.
Yeah.
He didn't play with matchbooks. He's not a firebug. Yes. Go ahead.
So, and I used to have fun with that. I used to use my imagination, and my dad would criticize me because the guy across the street was mowing the lawn or something like that.
Right.
And I had a very vivid sense of that. So, my ability. I always had this ability to dream and to daydream.
Yes.
But it was always criticized and judged and said, "Oh, you're doing something wrong."
Right.
Now, there's a chair in my mom's bedroom that we had reupholstered, but she got it. She told me
that she got it when she was pregnant with you.
Yes.
And you, by the way, are her oldest child.
Yes. So yes, that was a long time ago. But we had it reupholstered. But I used to play in that chair and imagine I was in a spaceship. Now, go back a couple shows and go listen to our show about UFOs. And that's where that came from. Yeah. Because it started back then. And that's when I started using my imagination.
Right.
So here's the other thing.
Okay.
There's so much about robots and robots taking over the earth, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, it's going to come to a time fairly soon where a lot of the stuff that we do work for is going to be done for us by machines.
Yes.
So
it's already happened.
It's already happened.
Yes. Okay.
So the way we stay ahead of that, stay ahead of artificial intelligence is through your imagination, by dreaming. Right. That's what separates human beings from just a machine.
Exactly.
And so I'm just really excited about this.
Well, and the other thing is, and this is my favorite part of it, when you use your imagination, when you daydream, when you dream, what you're doing is you're also connecting to your creativity. And by the way, all of us were given creativity, and not that many of us use it in our best interest at all.
So here's a bold statement. Okay.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Okay. When we dream or go in the non-physical dimension, in other words, not in the physical dimension, but the non-physical dimension, I'm going to make this bold statement that all the answers to all the problems that we have on Earth today is in the non-physical dimension.
You need to explain that with great clarity, please.
So the way you get that is to go to the non-physical dimension and download it. Okay.
Oh, like Einstein said he did when he did
he used his imagination. Yes. He was daydreaming and dreaming.
Exactly.
To get that information.
The theory of relativity, is that what it's called?
Relativity.
Okay.
And most major breakthroughs come that way. It's through our intuition. But if you think of it just in terms of like an invention, it's way more than that. Yeah. Maybe it's the idea of how we're going to get along together. Maybe it's the idea of how we can work together to help Earth Day's coming up. Help to save the Earth. there's all sorts of things we can do in this non-physical dimension. It's all up there.
Yeah.
And our ability to download that information, it makes Google look like kindergarten. You know, the information that's
Well
in the
done.
non-physical dimension,
Yes.
and the way
Yes.
you get there
Yeah.
is dreaming and daydreaming,
Exactly.
and of course applying the ecosystem approach,
And
because that's what clears. If you see that your intuition is a channel, the way
yes,
you access that non-physical dimension is through that channel,
that's right.
and it's blocked
Yeah.
with the negative energy that we always clear at the end of all of our shows.
Exactly. The most important, I think, thing here is that the things that you can accomplish with daydreaming, we've always been told, no, daydreamers are, that's not good. But the bottom line is the things that you can accomplish with it is really amazing.
Right, and that's just problem solving. But just one
Yes,
other
true.
quick story.
Okay.
We're almost out of time, but just before I met Patricia, I was kind of lonely, and so I created an avatar, sort of like a imaginary woman. Actually, she wasn't as good looking as you are,
Yeah.
sweetie. But I imagined a woman that I would talk to before I went to sleep.
He's
every
like
night.
this all the time, everybody.
Imaginary woman, and of course she liked me, and she was very great conversationalist until I fell asleep, and then I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
But
Exactly.
and I guess it's
That was a form of your creativity, though.
it was,
Mhm.
and I was using it for therapy in a way. I was
Yes.
keeping myself from being lonely. You don't
Okay.
have to have, just because you're lonely doesn't mean you need therapy, but it just, it's a way of
Exactly.
dealing with
Well,
loneliness.
and I just want to say that lonely is an energy.
Yeah.
If you're lonely, clear the lonely energy and then daydream about something you want.
And I just think it's really interesting that Patricia showed up, and she looked really a lot. They looked a lot alike. So you can interpret that however you want.
And what are the key points of this segment, Jason?
The process is the same for daydreaming and dreaming while sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Our programmed machine-like world dreaming is not considered productive.
Mm-hmm.
Dreaming takes you to the non-physical dimension for information, pleasure, and practice.
Okay.
And the ecosystem pro teaches you how to use your natural abilities and resources to dream effectively.
In the next segment, we're going to talk about using dreaming as a tool and have some examples about how you can use it to make your life better. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about using dreaming as a tool. Okay, with some examples of how you can use it to make your life better right now. So
good.
We use the ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you were commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. All right, Jason. I've always been told if you're daydreaming, you're goofing off.
Me too.
Okay. Well, so how can people really use it as a tool? I mean, explain.
So I use it for comfort.
Okay.
The
course.
avatar that looked like you. Yep.
Okay.
For inspiration, problem solving, personal therapy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, by all means.
When I had a hard day, that avatar was always a good listener. Not that you're not, sweetie, but
I get it. I really get it. Yes.
And it's the ultimate for creativity.
Oh, so and that's my favorite right there. Yes. The creativity part.
Well, we both use daydreaming to figure things out.
Yes, we do.
The last two shows, time traveling for healing, archaeology for your life.
Right.
Those, I dreamed my way through to those shows.
Well, and by the way, good job.
Yeah. Well,
very impressive.
And this show, of course, came from just sitting here and looking out the window, and and it. I really wanted to. When I dream about this or daydream about this, I ask myself, how can I make this useful for the audience? How can I make it interesting for the audience? And how can we see it from a perspective that they're not probably accustomed to.
Correct.
We've heard so many people come to us say, I never thought of it that way.
Oh,
You always talk about things in ways that I've never think of it that way.
my favorite one is I couldn't wait for my session this week because I know you're going to have a perspective I didn't see. So yeah, but that's because we use the ecosystem approach.
Yes.
And that's because the ecosystem approach isn't about focused on one view or
Yes.
one way, because we know if you be objective at all, we know that there's always different points of view and a different way to see things.
Well, that one way is a very machine-like way, a
Very
program-like
well,
way, like
yeah, of course.
this way or that way. The
Yes,
machine either works or
yes,
it doesn't,
yes. Yeah.
And in the natural world, there's all sorts of ways to do everything.
Exactly.
So just and I wanted to share this with you. I think it's fun. One of the things that Patricia and I do together
Yes.
is we sit down and dream together, literally go into the non-physical dimension.
Correct.
Download information, if you will, and it's fun. It feels good.
It does.
And
it does.
So I will put my head in her lap, and she'll rub my head, which I really
Yeah.
like. I'm a sucker for that.
Yes.
So
yes.
And the dogs, whenever we start doing that,
they are on us.
They feel the energy.
Yeah.
And frankly, if you walked in on us while we were doing that, you'd probably be embarrassed because it feels like it feels vaguely sexual.
Okay.
You said intimate, I said sexual, but Mars, Venus,
that's whatever. Yeah. But the point you're trying to get at is that it's something that we do together. And if you think of it, maybe if you want to think of it this way, I'm talking about the audience. If you want to think of it, that Jason and I are dancing, we're dancing and we're looking out. Yeah. And we're looking out in the stars, so to speak, or in the heavens. We're looking out. What information is out there for us today, or what information are we trying to gain today?
And it's not just, it's fun, and it's productive.
Really productive. We have done some amazing work that way.
When we
truly
do this work for you, the audience,
yeah,
it's because we want it always to be practical, so that you can help you pay the rent this month, or have better health, or have better relationships.
Right.
We don't want to just go airy fairy. That's
airy fairy isn't practical, and it's fun sometimes, but it doesn't get you where you need to go.
But what's so amazing about this, it's not only fun, it's productive. It's everything.
Yes.
Yes. And I'd forgotten about this, but we were talking about this before the show.
Okay.
A long time ago, when we were just starting out, we didn't have as much money, and we it's not like we were going to the clubbing every night, that sort of thing.
Which something we don't
never do. It's I'm being sarcastic, but basically we just had to do things that didn't cost a lot. We did this, and we were more than happy.
Oh, and the results of the things that came out of it we were astonished in the beginning of the things that we could see. And by the way, it was how we actually saw the ecosystem approach.
Yes.
That was one of the places.
The ecosystem approach was born of this.
Exactly. And that born of daydreaming.
Yes.
Wow, that's quite a concept, everyone. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And especially with everything that's going on in the world. And by the way, I want to say this. If you're listening to the show right now and you're going, well, I'm not exactly sure what it is that they're talking about, but okay, I'm listening. Understand something. That tells me that you have some information or access to information that is needed in the world today.
We're giving you a little nudge, and your essence
by all means
is giving you that nudge. And that your essence and us are talking right now, and you're in the middle. And if you're feeling it, go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org, and sign up for our free section.
Right.
And there's lots of information there. We're going to be talking some more about this later in the show, but this is amazing stuff. And so people like the word problem solving because it seems productive. Okay.
Yes.
Another way of saying it, it's like therapy. You work out difficulties, you work out problems.
Sure. Well, wait a minute. Let's back up for just a second.
Okay.
If we're problem solving, what steps do I do to help myself problem solve.
So I hate formulas because that's machine-like.
Well,
Okay,
I
but
understand, but
let me give you some examples.
there you go. Thank you.
If you're a musician and you're preparing to be the next big thing out there,
Okay.
picture yourself on stage. Picture the
Right.
audience reaction that you want. Now, if you're daydreaming and you're trying to picture an audience reaction that you want, but it's not what you're seeing is not that reaction, but they're throwing tomatoes at you or something.
Yeah, bad
Okay,
tomatoes. Yeah.
so clear the
Love it.
tomatoes
Yes.
throwing at you,
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
keep clearing until
Mm-hmm.
you can make a picture,
Mm-hmm.
make a movie
Yeah.
in your imagination of everybody saying, "Oh yeah, he's the
Wait.
greatest, she's the greatest."
Yay.
They're
Yeah,
the greatest artist
exactly.
ever.
Exactly.
If you're giving a presentation, if you're
Yes.
trying to do something, if you're trying
How
to
about
work,
if you're trying to deal with your toddler?
yeah,
Believe it or not, I hadn't realized it, but this can be used for everything in your life that you feel a block with. In other words, my toddler is driving me crazy at the moment, and throwing a temper tantrum. What's it, daydream for just a second and realize there is an answer right there in front of you of what you can do.
well, it might be a hard conversation. I had a woman come up to me and told me that she got in an accident in the parking lot and she didn't want to tell her husband.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you can imagine having that conversation and keep clearing it until you get the response that
From
is,
him that
yeah.
she wants.
And
Yeah.
it could be male, female, that sort of
Well,
thing.
yeah, I happen to know what he's talking about, and he's
What
telling the truth here.
whatever difficult situations are, it could be asking for a raise.
Yeah. Oh,
So imagine yourself going in and asking for a raise, and if the boss says, "Hell no, get the hell out of my office," then you can just keep using that daydream
mm-hmm.
and clearing it
Right.
until you can get the response that, "Oh yeah, yes, you deserve a raise."
Erase.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. And not to mention, you can have Fridays off too. Oh, thank you very much. Family time. But it's the truth. I was being a smart guy here.
it's not like it's a magic wand.
No, not at all.
And if you keep clearing with it, what happens is that you may get an answer. For example,
Mm.
let's say you imagine going in and asking for a raise over and over and over again. You keep doing it, and you get some sort of pushback. Well, maybe the answer is a new job.
Maybe the answer is a new job, and clear the resistance that you have to seeing that it is a new job.
Yeah, or then a picture some opportunities that come to you that you wouldn't
Yeah.
have
Well,
otherwise.
and have, by the way, I am in my dream job, everyone. I need to tell you this. This is the job I always dreamed of helping people and making a difference in people's
Working with
lives
energy.
and working with energy. And did I know that it was going to be two in the same? No. But the bottom line is that that's what I get to do today. And by the way, I did what? I dreamed it.
Well, and we don't talk about this very much, but we really like working together.
Oh,
And
we
the
do.
fact that we can have our job, our
Uh-huh.
dream job, and work together at the same time for us is really,
It's
really, really
amazing.
special. But it
Exactly.
all came about from daydreaming.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and there was times that I worked in the corporate world, in a cubicle. You had to look busy.
Yeah, all the
I
time.
I used to stay and leave work after my boss left. I
Yeah.
wouldn't leave before they left. I would work after. So,
Yes.
it's just and how do you know that what you dream is accurate? So let's say, here's the other thing. A lot of
Okay.
people have a notepad
Okay.
by their bed. So they have a dream and they want to write it down.
Okay.
Usually there's fear there that you're gonna lose it.
Or lose something.
You're going to lose some sort of valuable
Mhm.
information. If it's valuable information, your essence has no problems telling you over and over and over and over and over again.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about that. And chances are, if you dream it and it's not quite ready, then maybe you need to sleep some more or
Uh-huh.
daydream some more about it,
Exactly.
and wait till the answer becomes more clear.
Correct. So, Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
Daydreaming is a valuable tool that uses imagination, creativity, and intuition.
Love it.
Daydreaming can be used for comfort, inspiration, problem solving, creativity, and therapy.
Mhm.
Clearing is a dreaming exercise, and the processor can be used many places with your imagination.
Correct.
And the ecosystem approach teaches you how to develop your energy abilities using dreaming.
I love it. In the next segment, we're going to talk about how clearing is a form of daydreaming and how to be a real expert at clearing, working with energy and dreaming in a very effective way. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about how clearing is a form of daydreaming and how to be a real expert at clearing, working with energy, and dreaming in a very effective way. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. Jason, can you explain how clearing is a form of daydreaming?
No, I've never. I daydream this perspective. Okay,
Okay.
but I think it makes a lot of sense
Okay.
because in a way, what you're doing is you're going to the non-physical dimension
Mm-hmm.
and taking negative energy like anger, fear, worry,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
anxiety, frenzy,
Yeah.
and taking it from you,
Mm-hmm.
putting it into the processor
Yes.
and getting rid of it.
Oh.
And the processor, and Olivia's going to show it to you sometime during this segment, but is basically something we created
Yes.
in the
By the way, in the
physical
non-physical world,
dimension.
yes.
So you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller,
Right.
and
Yep.
that processor is a big part of the effectiveness of clearing.
Yes.
But what we're doing with energy, and I guess this is part of how we clear energy,
Mm-hmm.
is you're visualizing it
Yes.
in your imagination,
Yes.
having a daydream about it,
Yes.
and doing something with it.
Oh, I see the connection.
So
Sure.
when you want to
Sure.
clear fear or unworthiness,
Right.
maybe you feel it in your gut. Maybe it's not a physical thing. It's just something about you.
Yes.
So clear the picture. Make a movie about unworthiness where you
Yeah.
have these memories of
Or
unworthiness.
where you were, I'm gonna turn it around. Or you were told you were unworthy, and if you go back and look at the picture the way you saw it, that isn't the way you saw it at all. Then clear your anger about that. Clear unworthiness and anger. It's a good idea.
Well, a lot of people, and we did this in the time travel
Yes.
show, but basically go back in time again
Mhm.
by
Yes.
dreaming it in your imagination,
Yes.
daydreaming,
Yes.
and
Very effective,
where
everyone.
you have these things where you felt unworthy
Mm-hmm.
or shamed
Yes.
or something bad,
Yes.
and then clear it away.
Yes.
It's there's all sorts of things you can do with this. It's amazing how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So creating a movie, picturing yourself being stuck, all
Mm.
these things. One of the things about the processor,
Okay.
let's say you have a tumor, cancer.
Oh, okay.
You
Let's not say that, but okay.
you could take the processor, imagine it going into your body, shrinking it down,
Yes.
and being right underneath the tumor. And as you squeeze the negative energy out of that tumor,
Yes.
it can
Even
go
if you
right,
don't know what that negative energy is, you can do it exactly like he's talking about.
it go right in the processor.
And therefore, then you don't own it anymore. Put it in the trash can. You don't need it. Neither does anybody else.
Yes.
And that's power.
That's power. I mean, you can
Yeah.
do this with any health condition.
Yes, you
I'm
can.
thinking like leukemia is a blood disease.
Yes.
You can create a filter
Yes.
and have have your blood be filtered through the processor.
Right.
So,
And clean it.
yeah.
Clean it. Good one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's all sorts of ways of
Right.
doing it,
Well, and when you're connected to your creative mind, your creativity,
your essence with the
your
ecosystem approach.
exactly. It's the abilities are endless here. Truly endless.
We talked about this when we clear the world, or we clear an organization, or
Sure.
we clear
Oh yeah.
a
Which
city
we've done
or
a lot of, by
town.
the way, and
Yes.
we've done that. Yes.
And just picture it in your mind, make a movie of it, and then use a big hand or a big bulldozer.
Right.
I'm a guy. I like to blow things up in my movies. There's always big bombs going off, and then all the debris falls into the processor.
Oh, I see. And I become the ballerina, and
Yeah, she uses the Kleenex. I just think that's way too dainty for me. You know that. Yeah,
it was a good demonstration. We'll
she's
put it that way.
well. You should tell them about it. To
I
get
had
negative
forgot about
energy,
it.
she'll throw up Kleenex. It'll just gently go
It'll
down.
it'll 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 filter down, and it's usually the energy that I'm afraid to get rid of, or that it doesn't make, I can't quite picture the whole thing. In other words, I'm not being perfect. So if I take that Kleenex and throw it up and watch it just nice and easy go to the ground, that gives me time to get rid of all that negative energy that it's collecting.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Well, and see, my preference is to take a gun and blow something up, and then put the processor right underneath it, so all the debris falls.
There you
in
go.
there,
Okay, yes.
Or
yes.
or use a bulldozer,
Yeah.
push it in and push it right up into the
Right,
processor.
right.
There's all sorts. I like big equipment in my dreams, so my daydreams.
Well, okay. Should I tell him about the processor and the toilet? Should I tell him? He's looking at me, what?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
That's a
Well,
good
and
metaphor.
this I did this with daydreaming. I was having a really hard time with this boss. Oh, just awful. And I felt really powerless. And so I daydreamed. I put the processor in front of me, and then I put a toilet where I could flush, where I could actually see it flush. And then I would take that person and put them upside down in the toilet and flush it, and they would go away.
and the processor toilet never clogs, so
It
just
never clogs, and you can flush it 2 and 3 times at a time, and it's all good. It's all good. But that was me being fun, or being
having fun with it.
having a lot of fun with it, and really enjoying that. And the other thing is that the conflict between that person and myself kind of went away.
So one of the other things that we do, and I wanted to give just an example.
Okay.
One of our big breakthroughs is the discovery. And
Yeah.
if you don't know what that is, go to our website, theecosystemapproach.org,
Right.
and go to where it's about us. And
Yes.
there's a section there about the discovery, and it's about how we see that everybody, even people that have achieved greatness, have 80% of their energy is negative.
Right. Oh yeah.
Negative energy in their essence.
And that's huge. And by the way, we discovered this through the daydreaming thing. But the most amazing thing is when you looked at people that were famous, people that had done
Yes.
great things.
So I first I looked at people, normal everyday people, and I saw the 80%, and then I started going back in time, looking at people that have achieved greatness: Steve
Right.
Jobs, Abraham Lincoln,
Right.
And they had the same 80%. And so I started looking around, and you can do that. I did that by basically daydreaming it, and getting this information. This information is really valuable, because if you don't know what the problem is, you can't fix it.
Well,
and the negative energy in our essence is the problem
in the first place.
Yes.
Well, and I want to say this. One of the things that I do when I'm got a major problem, I will take that problem and I will set it on a form of a pedestal. This is my daydreaming. I will set it on a form of a pedestal, and I will do what I call a 360, and I will walk all the way around it and look at it from every single perspective that I believe is appropriate. And I have seen some things and cleared some things that have astonished myself. I'll be honest with you. But it's been one of the most amazing things that I've done.
One of the other things that we've both done, I like to do this. I'm more the business guy.
Yeah.
But you can take an organization and look at it, and create an image of a person that represents that organization.
Right.
And then you can start to talk to that person to get insights about that organization,
and to see what is that person saying that either they need or that's blocking their success. Or I mean, it's phenomenal, and we have seen some amazing things come out of this.
Well, you create that person. Maybe the person's really tight, maybe that person, is really doesn't want to spend any money. Maybe the person
Exactly.
is too cautious. Maybe
Yes.
that person is a gambler and takes wild risk or
Yes.
creates chaos.
Exactly.
All sorts of things,
Well, and we all know, all of us have seen at the top, we've seen the sort of the same type, but when we really look underneath, everybody is unique and different, and so is each organization and each large, like a large group of people. Those are things we can also clear those,
So when we
and you
clear,
have to use your imagination to do that,
so when we clear, you don't have to sit in any special way. You can
right?
be daydreaming, so you can be laying down, you can be standing up, you can
Right.
be walking, you can be
Right.
driving, doesn't matter. So just in your mind's eye, do a daydream.
Mm-hmm.
If you're driving, you don't want to close your eyes, do a daydream.
Don't do
And
that.
and so when we say to eliminate, imagine what we say to eliminate, whether veils and illusions, barriers,
Right.
specific emotions, gather those up in your body
Mm-hmm.
and blow them from your mouth. Imagine the negative energy going from your mouth into the processor.
Exactly.
You can, there's other ways of doing that. If it's really difficult
Uh-huh.
negative energy, I can see sometimes it flows like water, sometimes it flows like tar,
Exactly.
sludge.
Exactly.
It makes a
Start looking
difference.
for it. Believe it or not, you will see things you had no idea.
And then
Jason,
life force.
and then I'm going to do, that's right. And then I'm going to show you life, or help you with life force. We're going to call upon it. We're going to have it come in through the top of our head and go all the way to the tips of our toes. We're going to stop it right there. We're going to turn it around, and we're going to use our imagination and that life force energy to remove even more negative energy. So, did we do key
No, we
points?
didn't do key
Okay,
points.
we better do those.
Clearing uses dreaming, imagination, and creativity to be effective.
Okay.
Using the processor in creative ways can supercharge your clearing process. And you can see and solve problems creating a picture or a movie and then dreaming about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the ecosystem approach teaches you to use all of your abilities and develop those abilities continuously.
Love it. Stay tuned when we come back. We're going to do some clearing to help you dream better. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to do some clearing so you can uncover the ability to your ability to daydream and do it well, and give it the power that that you need. And we gave you a few examples, but
Yep.
now we're going to do some clearing, and you can rock and roll with it. There you go.
Here we go. So I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the barriers so I can give myself permission to dream and to daydream.
Take a breath, everybody. Nice and easy.
Gather up those barriers.
And throw any barriers into that processor or into a garbage can if you can't see the processor right now. No worries about that. That's where that negative energy belongs. And with that said, and to eliminate any fear I have about losing my productivity by daydreaming, take a nice breath.
A lot of times the biggest taskmaster that we have is ourselves.
Yes.
So, and to eliminate the feelings of anger, hate, rage, and bitterness that I have when I'm not productive.
Oh, okay. That's one of my biggest things, everybody. Take a breath. It's really hard for me. So I'm clearing that one as we're doing the show. So, and to eliminate my any feelings of fear and hurt and shame that I can have, or that I can dream. Sorry, that I can clear while I'm dreaming. That's what I was trying to say. Take a breath. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the barriers so I can create movies of my life and work things out, being my own therapist.
Love it. Take a breath. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can create people to socialize with in my imagination, and then find myself a clearing buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Take a breath, everyone, and blow it out.
And to eliminate the feelings of fear and terror that I can overcome by clearing it in a movie of my life.
That's an amazing one. Take a breath, everyone. And by the way, you might not be ready for that one. So do the a few easier ones first. And to eliminate all the hurt and depression that I already have, that I can clear in the movie of daydreaming about my life. Take a breath.
And to eliminate any anger I have about my past that I can clear in my daydreams or situations that come up.
Good one. Take a breath. And to eliminate the feelings of resistance I have about dreaming or daydreaming. Take a breath.
And to eliminate, here's a big one, the false belief that I have that I always have to be focused and pay attention to be effective.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. Everybody, that's a really good one. Take a breath. Even if you don't think that's the case, breathe anyway. Take another breath, everyone. That's good. And to eliminate any thinking that says daydreaming is goofing off and being unproductive. Not always. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the clarity so I can see how daydreaming can work in my life and as a useful tool.
And I want to say, and to eliminate the blocks to the clarity so I can see how daydreaming can work in my life and be a useful tool. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that clearing is a daydreaming activity and use my imagination.
And have fun.
Yes.
Take a breath. By the way, that's how the toilet thing got started. I admit. So now let's activate some life force energy. Life force energy is the most powerful energy that any of us has access to. And if you want to feel safe while you're doing this daydreaming, take life force energy with you. It's a great thing to do. With that said, follow me. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force energy so I can use life force energy for all that I need, want, desire, and deserve. I'm going to have you in your imagination have that energy come in right through the top of your head, go all the way down your body to the tips of your toes. Stop it right there. Turn it around and use that powerful energy to remove any negative energies for yourself right now. Breathe.
And to activate life force so I can trust that the wisdom of my dreams can come from my essence.
Yes. That's one of the biggest things. I apologize, everyone, but that's one of the biggest things that people say to me. How can I trust? When you connect with your essence, there's a trust. It's innate. It just
It's a
is.
feeling.
It really
There's
is.
a feeling about it.
It's amazing.
And frankly, to be fair, we didn't really talk about this, but you can get negative energy come through when you dream.
Sure,
So you
you
just
can.
have to be able to discriminate, just like you would in the world when someone comes up and says, "Trust me."
And thank you. And to activate life force energy so I can be able to discern, decipher, and discriminate the difference between life force energy and negative energy right now until forever.
Good
Take
one.
a breath.
Good one. And
Boy, that just really
Yeah.
that one hit really good.
And to activate life force so I can decide to use the ecosystem approach to stimulate my
Oh,
dreaming process.
nice. Take a breath. Pull in that life force energy. And last one, let's get back some really good stuff. We've done clearing. Let's put good stuff back in those spots where that negative energy was. And it goes like this. And to activate life force energy so I can be happy and healthy and have laughter and fun and love. Have fun daydreaming. Have fun daydreaming about the money that I need and how to get it. Have fun by getting connected to my essence starting right now, today, and be able to heal myself at this very moment. Take a breath and blow it out. Jason, what are we going to talk about next week?
So next week we have a 2-part series.
Oh,
and it's going to be Earth Day Part 1 and Earth Day Part 2.
Oh, that's fabulous. I like that we're going to spend some time doing that.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good thing.
And Earth Day is right in the middle of that.
Okay,
so,
good.
But I'm just going to a big teaser for this show. Okay?
What a surprise, huh?
We're going to talk about an aspect of ecology and saving our Earth that no one's talking about right now. That can be the game changer for saving the earth or not.
Okay.
So if you get this part,
Mhm.
it can make everything else change. But if you don't, it could mean
Well,
failure.
okay. So, Jason, why is the ecosystem approach so important? Well, to me personally and to everybody else out there.
If you're a dreamer, if something touched you today, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, this sounds really good to me,
Mhm.
go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org. Sign up for the free section. There's a lot of information there. It's all free. There's a weekly newsletter that we also have that has clearings for that.
And
It's all
everybody
written
loves
out
them.
for you.
It's
Yeah.
you don't have to do anything.
If you don't
Just
know what to
read it.
clear, most people say, I don't know what to clear. It's confusing to
It
me.
works.
All the stuff, it's all written out for you. It's on that newsletter. It comes every week. You can use it. People put it on their phone and they read it. They look at it every single time, every single week.
Yeah, they do.
And
Several times.
Here's the thing about clearing. It's cumulative. So the more you do it, the better it is.
Yes. So, anything else you want to tell everyone?
Well, also, you can go to our Facebook page.
Okay.
Now, if you're watching us on Facebook Live right now, we're on Facebook Live. But if you're listening to this, you want to see us, you want to see what we look like and how weird we are in person, then you can go to our Facebook page, theecosystemapproach.org, and all the videos of our Facebook Live sections are there.
Oh, that's nice.
And please, if you're there, like me, I need I need that validation. I'll be honest with you. It really helps. And tell a friend.
Oh, I want to talk about that for just 2 seconds. When you talk about us, please mention that we started at the beginning ourselves. In other words, we figured all this out because we could learn how to connect with energy, and we did that with the ecosystem approach.
And this is fun with a buddy.
So
if you have someone to do this with, it makes it so much more fun and so much more powerful.
Exactly. So we'll connect next week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Remember, your ecosystem is the most important one in the world.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.